Amen.
What's this stuff inside?
Tonight's year is sponsored by Shai Meir of Ramsdale. Hashem should bless him. All the brachas and blessings, the gashmias, the gashmias gam yachad. Should have everything he needs.
And more.
Should be zechet to Mashiach. Toch bris v'achava b'torch Klal Yisrael. Good. So happens to be also tonight start the yard side of my mother. Should be to her. One rabbi in Israel said we don't say Aliyah and Neshama because it's Mamash Mashiach. So everybody's coming down. They're not going up anymore. They're coming down. But her Aliyah and Neshama Aliyah Bas Louisa Aliyah Bas Avram. Be for her Aliyah. She's here. Techet from Yad. Amen. So the Rebbe HaMashiach says this Sikha is the last Sikha we heard yet from the Rebbe HaMashiach, and it was 1992, and it was very peculiar for a lot of people because what the order is that the Rebbe HaMashiach would say Sikha, and Motzei Shabbos all the Chayzrim would come and put it together, give it to the Rebbe's secretary, and the Rebbe he would hand it over to the Rebbe. The Rebbe would edit it. He would come out Monday, Tuesday. I don't know exactly what day it would come out. And so the broad audience would actually see it the week following, not Motzei Shabbos right away. Later on, people said, we want to know what the Rebbe says on Shabbos. We want to know it right after Shabbos. So it used to be called Rashi Dvarim. What they would do is the Chayzrim would get together and say, okay, let's make a small summary, like headline summary. Not the whole Sikha. We'd give those headlines to the Rebbe, something bekitzer, because we can't go through the whole Sikha Motzei Shabbos and release it Motzei Shabbos. They would do it really quick. They would do like headlines of everything that was said. They would give it to the Rebbe would edit it. I mean, not edit it, the Rebbe would like look at it. But the Rebbe would not edit it, would not be Makia. The Rashi Dvarim. And the Rebbe would then, they would then, come together again and give over the whole Sikha. They would chazer the whole Sikha. Take it back to the Rebbe's office, the Rebbe would edit it, the whole Sikha, the Rebbe would edit, not the Rashi Dvarim, not the one that comes out on the Shabbos. And then the Rebbe would release it in the following days, it would be Monday or Tuesday, that was the whole Sikha. So that was like a temporary solution for people, because a lot of people wanted to know what the Rebbe said on Shabbos right away. So Motzei Shabbos, something was ready for them. They would have like a short summary of what the Rebbe said on Shabbos. That went on for a while, to the point that it got so big that one time they had to translate it 12 different languages. People from all over the world caught up that there's something coming out every Shabbos, and every Motzei Shabbos, and they all wanted to know, and so it was spread out pretty quick to hundreds of people on Motzei Shabbos, a quick outline of what the Rebbe said, but it was not edited by the Rebbe. It was just looked over. Comes Hafei Adar, 1992, was Shabbos. And lo and behold, they bring the short summary Motzei Shabbos to the Rebbe's office. The Rebbe edits it. The Rebbe edits it.
That's the sequel.
Yes. This is not Muga. This is the whole Sikha. But it's not Muga. The Mugadik Sikha never came out. There was never a Mugadik Sikha.
But the summary was...
They never edited it, because Chavzai Nadar was Monday. So what happened was, they were shocked, startled, they were baffled. What is this? The Rebbe is actually editing the kitzur of the Sikha. They didn't ask, they didn't bother asking. But the Rebbe knew. It comes out Monday, he will not be editing the Sikha anymore. So the Rebbe prepared an edited version of Motzei Shabbos right away. So the Rebbe edited that small one that we have. So that's why it says on the Sikha here, it says, Bilti Muga. This was not Muga. The whole Sikha was not edited by the Rebbe. Because Chavzai Nadar, the Rebbe wanted the oil, cut the stroke, so to speak. And so remember, I apologize for the salami. There was only salami this time. There was shora bar. It was one pack of turkey. Yeah, one pack of there. Turkey was short part as well, but then otherwise everything else was, and I recommended them, I said, what is this, I come here every week. But they said because everybody's now prepping for Pesach, so that all their meats are stuck up. And she gave me some kind of, fine, whatever. Very nice people though. At any rate.
Very nice people.
So the Rebbe, the last Sikha the Rebbe gave us, there's a Gilyon that comes out every week. It's called Chadr B'Dam. Chadr B'Dam. Dam is Rosh Tevis as well. Dam is blood. But Chadr is penetrated with blood. Through and through. Durf and durf. Chadr B'Dam means Chadr B'Dvar Malchus. You're penetrated with Dvar Malchus. This Gilyon comes out every week. Up to 1994 it came out. Last edition was 94. Since then they never printed out again. But if you read those Gilyonim every week, it's unbelievable summary of Dvar Malchus and different occurrences, different events that took place around that same week. They bring everything. Incredible. They said, they bring the Rebbe's quote, when the Rebbe 1950, the whole year the Rebbe was talking about the passing of his father-in-law, the Rebbe. And clearly you see how the Rebbe prepared us for this time when we're not going to see the Rebbe physically. And the Rebbe said, I wish that everyone was medakdek. Everyone was meticulous. Huh?
No, yeah, that's what.
Meticulous and precise, and accurate on the Rebbe's words. And listen to the next following words the Rebbe said on the Fidik Rebbe. He was still referring to the Fidik Rebbe who passed. Specifically those from the last year, from the last time that we saw him. So too we know that the Rebbe is referring to himself. The Rebbe prepared us, clearly prepared us for this time. And the Rebbe wants us to be medayak in the last words that he said. What was the last sikha the Rebbe said? The very last sikha the Rebbe talked about achdus. The Rebbe talked about achdus, Havas Yisrael, how we have to love each other. And that day the Rebbe left to the oil, the Rebbe did something very strange in his office. In other words, every day, for years, the Rebbe was going to his office, the Rebbe would use like tens of books until there were piles of books on the table, and the Rebbe never allowed the secretary's room not to arrange the books in the back of the shelf. The Rebbe wanted the table to be full of books the way it was, piled up with different books. So the Rebbe would take a book, look at it, put it back, look at the other book, look at this book, look at the other book. That went on for years. Came Chav Zayin Tammuz, or Chav Zayin Adar. The Rebbe went to the oil that morning. The Rebbe fixed his table himself. Fixed it clearly, like put everything back on the shelf. And the Rebbe left 4 albums with pictures on the table.
Of the shluchim.
Those were the albums. Those were pictures of the shluchim. Wow. The message is clear. Havas Yisrael. They're all beyond being shluchim the Rebbe, beyond being considered of the Rebbe and Mashiach. We are all one shpach. We are all Hayim Shpuche. All children of the Rebbe. The Rebbe wants us to act like brothers and sisters. That's the main thing. That's the main zach. That's what Chav Zayin Adar is all about. That's the last message the Rebbe gave us achdus. At the same time, in Chadr B'Dam, the Gilyon, it says like this, the following, it says, achdus does not mean that you're not going to say Yechi anymore. Achdus does not mean you're not going to say Mivtza Mashiach anymore because you don't want to get the other guy mad or Adarabah. Clearly the opposite. Achdus means that you will try to make sure that he also participates in the Rebbe's service. Not to take away from him, but to add to it. So, going into the Sikha, the Rebbe said, we are going to read, unlike, hey, you want to say something?
Yeah, what should I say?
Whatever you want. Say.
I don't know what you said until now.
I gave a whole introduction about the time for saying I didn't even start the Sikha.
Oh, so this week's parsha is parsha VAYAKHEL, right? So next week's parsha is parsha Pekudei, right? Sometimes VAYAKHEL and Pekudei are together, but this year it's separate. So I could be skipping out somewhere, right? So what's the meaning of the word VAYAKHEL? Gad. What's the meaning of the word Pekudei? It means like to count numbers. So, okay, whatever. You can continue.
No. Why?
No, I became embarrassed. Speaking in public.
Oh my God, just sleep again.
Go back to sleep.
As Mayor Shimon started, I don't know why he stopped in the middle, but the Rebbe says that VAYAKHEL Pikudei is few of the years is read, different cycles is read together, different years it's read separate. We have, surprisingly, we have exactly the same timing as the year the Rebbe said the Sikha. This year is read separately. And the maftir will be shkalim. Shkalim were the coins that Hashem commanded Moshe Rabbeinu to tell the Yidden to give for the Mishkan. The shkalim were given for two purposes. For the korbanos, the sacrifices, and for the counting of the Jewish people. Hashem didn't want to count the Yidden, he wanted to count the coins, so that Ein Har Chadasham should not be dominant and Chadasham harm any Yidden, whoever it is. Instead, we're going to count coins. So, those were the shkalim. So Parsha Shkalim was right around this time, every year, right around Adar when we start. So this year we're going to read VAYAKHEL, and we're going to get Shkalim, but we're not going to read Pikudei. And the Rebbe says, sometimes they come together, sometimes they come separate. So there's a Yerah. The Rebbe says, there's a Yerah, Avodas Hashem, there's an instruction here in the name of the Parsha itself. First of all, let's understand when they come together, what is instruction. VAYAKHEL is like Meir Shim said, VAYAKHEL is to gather the entire Jewish people together, a general gathering of everyone. We're not counting, we're not talking about each one individually, but we're gathering everyone as one nation. One troop, one nation, one people, all together, gathered for the sake of Shem Shamayim, and they're coming together to serve Hashem together. Pikudei, on the other hand, is when you're actually taking the minyan, the count of the Jewish people, each one individually. Each one is important. Each one individually is counted by himself. The Rebbe says, the Hirah, the instruction by Avodas Hashem is that gathering means everyone is coming together to serve Hashem. Everyone is equal. Everyone has one equal purpose. You're coming to serve Hashem. I'm not created only to serve Hashem. And in that respect, every Jew is equal. So all the Jews are coming together as one unit to serve Hashem. That's VAYAKHEL. That's gathering everyone. That's one goal, one purpose in mind, to serve Hashem. This is when we're actually going to a much higher level. We're not looking at the individual, every specific or every individual by himself. We're not counting his individual qualities. We're not looking at his different milas, different adventures, different greatnesses that he has, but we're counting everyone as one. Everyone is equal in that respect. That we're all Jews. We all have chelek elokah. All have part of Hashem Mamash within us. In that respect, Moshe Rabbeinu and the water drawer is our equal, actually. The low, the high, the big, the small, they're all equal. Nashim, Mataf. But Pikudei is when we're taking everyone individually and we're saying, listen, you have certain qualities that belong to you. You have certain unique things that Hashem created within you, within your image, within your personality, that only belong to you, that you can use for Avodas Hashem. You should use those qualities. We used to be in the yeshiva, and the rabbi at the yeshiva said, all of you are Baal Tshuvas. All of you think, oh my God, my past was so bad, I have to throw it out the window. So he says, no, Chab Shalom, he says, Siddur teaches, and the Rebbe expounds it in Salat, that you have to use your qualities from your days of Baal Tshuva, from before you became Baal Tshuva, because those qualities are so precious, they only belong to you. Don't get rid of them. Some of them are so good you can use them to serve Hashem. Don't get rid of them. And that's what Pikudei is about. And the Rebbe said all those VAYAKHEL and Pikudei belong, they all discussed the building of the Mishkan. So Bnei Israel contributed all they had to build the Mishkan. The Rebbe said, first of all, the first thing we know is we have to build the Mishkan in ourselves. We have to know what's the avoid of the Mishkan. The Mishkan is building the Mishkan b'shachat v'seicham. Build the Mishkan. Each one of us is putting himself into building his own Mishkan. That way, he lets Hashem dwell in him. It's very important. So Mafti Sheshekel was equal by everyone. Mafti Sheshekel represents half. Like the Torah says, why is it that the Torah is asking the famous question, why is it the Torah says Esrim Hagera? The Torah is only emphasizing 20 and not saying 10 straight. Give 10. No, give half of 20. So if you're giving a Mafti Sheshekel, you're giving half. The Torah is trying to emphasize half. What's the point of the half? Trying to make a point from the half. You're giving only half. Remember, you're giving only half. The Torah says the famous answer is that we are half.
200.
Huh?
200.
2 answers. Yeah. After between the Yid and the Yid, and after between Hashem and the Yidden. So The Rebbe Mashiach says that we have to remember we're only half, and Hashem is the other half. We have 10 kochis nefesh, and Hashem has the 10 spheres, and together we unite and we become one shekel, a kodesh, we become the holy coin, but only together we can become whole. We have to remember that without Hashem, Chad Shalom, so to speak, we're not complete, we're not whole. So too with the Yidden. And the Rebbe says over here something magnificent. The Rebbe is trying to teach Ahavas Yisrael from every facet possible, every angle, so we can really practice Ahavas Yisrael before the Geula commences. Because once the Geula is here, we're going to have Ahavas Yisrael truly with all our heart and soul. So might as well taste from it. The Rebbe says you have to taste from what's going to happen on Shabbos. Shabbos is Mashiach. You have to taste from what's going to happen on Mashiach, and that's Ahavas Yisrael. We're going to be on the ultimate level as far as Ahavas Yisrael is concerned. The Rebbe says you have to know that you're half and your other friend next to you is half as well. And you have to teach him how to build his own Mishkan. Like you're building your own Mishkan in your heart. You have to be Mekaravim, to Torah mitzvahs, Kashrus, Tefillin. Take care of him like he's your own, really. And by this you'll be hastening the coming Mashiach. So by the fact that the Yidden were contributing individually, each one contributed as much as he had, or whatever, when the contributions were different, not equal, Machzis Shekel, that shows the level of each one individually. How each Yid is important. But when they were giving we're giving half a shekel, that showed that we are actually uniting with Hashem. We're actually going up a higher level. We're not emphasizing the individual qualities of each and every one of us. We're ignoring that. We're all uniting as one to serve Hashem. That's a much higher level. So the Rebbe says, by doing the first level, where each one is giving whatever you can, we are drawing a lower level of godliness, but what is the emphasis? The emphasis is us. That's more dira b'tachton. That's emphasizing us, so to speak, and not Hashem as much. That's called hamshacha, milamala lamata, because the drawing is for us. We are important now. But when we are just giving the half a shekel, we are elevating ourselves to a higher level. It's called milamata lemala. We're actually bringing ourselves up to a higher level of elukus. This is soyev kolamim. This is the elukus that really is beyond the world, beyond the limitations of the world. We're drawing a much higher level. Just like we are all equal in that respect, we are drawing a level which is also equal, so to speak, in respect. It's not treating each individual condition, each individual living property on its condition, whatever. It's raising us to a much higher level of elukus. It's drawing a higher level of elukus. We need both. But the Rebbe says, so what in the years that you don't read both together? What do you do? Are you missing from the avoida that you have to do when you read each one separately? The Rebbe says no. When we read VAYAKHEL by itself, we are accomplishing both qualities in one shot, so to speak. We are uniting all together. We're bringing ourselves to such a unity with each other and all together that we don't have to actually count our individual qualities, each one separately, and know that each one is important. We know that, and this is already included in the total unity, in the one unity that we are gathering together as a whole, as a nation, as one unit, not together individually, but not, so to speak, emphasizing the individual. We are actually making up for this work by uniting together and doing it as a whole, as one unit. That's VAYAKHEL. This is why we are doing VAYAKHEL this Shabbos. We're not doing Pikudei. And the Rebbe says, so VAYAKHEL, how is VAYAKHEL connected to Pikudei? To connect to Shkalim. Because Shkalim are only going to give half a shekel. Half a shekel is equal by everyone. We're not going to change it. We're not going to do more or less, like we said, because the individual quality is not emphasized over here. We are all gathering as one unit, one entity. This is VAYAKHEL, one general gathering. We're not emphasizing the individual. And because we are one unit, and all the individual qualities that we have individually are already compensated for. We don't have to emphasize them. We're coming together to serve Hashem. We're already holding at the very end, the very threshold of entering Mashiach, so that all the work was already done. The Rebbe says. So therefore, Machzis Shekel resembles connecting to Hashem, because everyone is equal with that. Everyone etzem haneshama, everyone's core of soul, the core of the soul, is equal by us. Etzem and Hashem. And when you're holding a bit of the etzem, you're holding the whole etzem, it says. So too, we are connected to Hashem. Hashem on the etzem level of Hashem. Atzmos u'malus, the highest level of Hashem. We're coming together. This year, we're doing only Shkalim and only VAYAKHEL, but not Pikudik. Pikudik would be a later work. And we didn't have a Sikha for Pikudik. That means that we're not going to have to get there at all. Mashiach will come way much before that. As we have seen by current events. Huh? Say?
People are going to the journal,
yeah, the Rebbe is mentioning this in the Sikha. You know about this?
Yeah, you know what it is?
Right, there's no Mugadik for this. No, there's a Mugadik, yeah, in the small one.
The small. I
don't
know the small.
Well, when you say Sikha, I'm talking about this. This was called Rashi. This was called Rashi Dvar. The headlines. Yeah, the Rebbe says that you see how Begashmius, VAYAKHEL is taking place. More Jews now in recent years are going up to Eretz Israel, and the Rebbe says Shalom Be'er, nothing to compare to the amount of Jews that came in generations before to Eretz Israel. The Aliyah to Eretz Israel now is totally incomparable to years before. We see the VAYAKHEL is actually, the gathering is actually taking place actually Kapshutoi. And the Rebbe says one last hurrah.
1 minute, there's an interesting parenthesis.
Okay.
It says how the Rebbeim.
Right, the Rebbe mentioned about the Rebbeim. The Rebbeim actually never visited Eretz Israel, and even the Frierdiker Rebbe who went to Eretz Israel went there because he had no choice, so to speak. He wanted to visit Kivrei Tzadikim. Yeah, he could not do that in Russia. It was avoided from him. He was unable to do it in Russia. So when he went to Israel, he did it just temporarily. So the Rebbe said he lived to say that none of the Rebbeim was really in Eretz Israel. That was the Rebbe's point. That footnote. The Rebbe ends that the Hira from Shkalim. The Hira that we have from Shkalim is to give tzedakah and to add in tzedakah. There's level in tzedakah of giving tzedakah. You have to give meiser, you can give chumash, and then the third level is kol asher liishtem bad nafshay. That everything a man has, he will give to save his life, and that's tzedakah. Tzedakah really, the Rebbe says, is no amount. Our generation is mamash no amount to give, just give and give and give, crazy give, and that's how the Rebbe describes it. Another place, I must say, I'm not going to lie, God forbid. I mean, I don't want to leave it at that because I saw a place where the Rebbe says that, yes, it has to be Bekelim the Tikkun. Even the Rebbe knows some Chassidim will listen and will really give everything they have. They do it exactly what the Rebbe says in Sikha. They'll just, it's not gonna, it could God forbid, interrupt Shalom Bayis. Shalom Bayis. Yeah? Destroy a house. There are people like that.
Everything away.
Yeah. The Rebbe says that. Like I know a Gvir who went by the Rebbe. He was a Gvir, and he told the Rebbe, and he took the chance. He took a risk by asking it because he knew that whatever the Rebbe will say, he will have to do. So he asked the Rebbe, how much should I leave for myself? Yeah, I work for this guy. In the Crown Heights. So the Rebbe told him just enough to live. So he did not really. I don't think he fulfilled. There was a rabbi. He gave a lot. He said, "Listen, 30,000. I gave 30,000 now." Whatever, he gave stuck at 30,000. 30,000. Oh no, I'm sorry. He gave 300. I don't remember. I don't think he gave 300. It's not his style to give 300. I think he told me he gave 30,000, whatever. But there are people that the Rebbe said. One of the audiences that the Rebbe had was a chassid. The Rebbe told him, the Frierdiker Rebbe didn't have money, but I have money. If I want $1 million, I have it right now. The Rebbe told him that. So the Rebbe says to give a lot. But the Rebbe says to have kelim b'tikkun. Do it with kelim b'tikkun. So the Rebbe says to give tzedakah shufi, a lot. And then the Rebbe says the oifen how you give tzedakah. That's also a raf from Shkalim. The oifen, the way you give tzedakah. It says we are talking about 10, the number 10, because you have to use all the 10 koiches and nefesh. Machshav adi r'maisa, all you mean is everything. So you have to do when you give tzedakah. In other words, when you give tzedakah, give it with all your heart and soul. The Rebbe says the oifen is so much into giving tzedakah that you talk about it, you think about it, you live it. You live giving tzedakah. You live the inyan of giving tzedakah, and you mamash through that, and you make sure your friend is doing the same. Hazoi, Rabbi Hamshech ends off the Sikha by saying that Hashem will be a VAYAKHEL Kipshutei, Shabbat to Israel. Tzedakah to us. You remember the whole Sikha, you don't want to give in.
Speak in public.
Oh yeah, really.
Speak in public. I'm embarrassed not to know the Sikha like you do. Next time you gotta give.
But I don't know the short one.
Huh? Short version is the one that was edited by the Rebbe. What I'm saying is unedited. Chi Adonai Morem Rabbeinu Melech HaMashiach Le'olam Vayed. Chi Adonai Morem Rabbeinu Melech HaMashiach Le'olam Vayed. Chi Adonai Morem Rabbeinu Melech HaMashiach Le'olam Vayed. The main Zach of the Sikha really is Avos Yisrael. The Rebbe was really wanted to. The last thing the Rebbe wanted to leave us with is Avos Yisrael.
The ticket for the Golas right now.
Huh?
The ticket for the Golas right now.